Hey, this is Don from Padlock Technologies again with this time it's not a question this time. This is actually a cool little thing, a little tip for you guys that are out here using the Cisco Secure Firewall platform, aka FTDs, FMC, stuff like that. And what basically happens are, I kind of ran across this a couple of times where, a couple clients are some engineers, mostly clients though, ask me, hey, how can I track what changes are made in the secure firewall platform? Now, there's a couple ways of doing it. Obviously, you can look at the deployment history, right? You can scroll through the entire employment history and then see what changes are made there, right? Obviously you're going to have logging for traffic and stuff like that, but to see like things that are getting changed, there's two ways that I usually recommend people doing it, and I'm going to show you in the FTD platform right now. One of them is change management. So when change management sounds just like it sounds, if someone wants to make a change, it has to email an approver, the approver approves it, and then a change can be made, right? That's one way you can know if somebody's doing it. But getting a million, depending on how many changes you're making per day, having a billion, and that's probably a wild number, but having a billion change management requests can get pretty daunting, right? The other way that most people don't use, like some people use change management, but most of the time I don't see anybody really using that feature, which I mean, I can understand because they don't want to get all those emails. The second one is called change reconciliation. So what that does is it will, at the end of the day, create a whole report on what changes were made in your firewall platform, and then it will email it to, IT manager, director of IT, stuff like that. Who's going to use this feature the most though is the management, right? This is a management feature, right? Because you want to know what changes were made that day, and it's going to roll it up to a report and it will email you. So that's going to negate any of those quote unquote I didn't do it moments, or hey, I don't know who actually made that change on the firewall, hey, I don't know what changes were made that day. It negates all of that excuse out of the way, right? And the other thing about this now, you need to have people have individual logins to really take advantage of this, because if everybody logs in with the admin username, the default username and password, it's kind of hard to tell who did what, and you got some repudiation that people can do, and now you're just like, I don't know who made the change. But if you have people with user accounts, now I would have those user accounts either made tied in with SAML or have ICE as a backend to authenticate you into the FMC platform. So you can track what people are doing, not only in the FMC, but also with ICE. You can tell, hey, you logged into ICE, or you logged into the FMC at this time based on the Radius live logs, right? Because there's no TACX in the secure firewall platform. So I'm going to go ahead and switch over to the firewall here, and then I'm going to show you where those two features are. So here we are at the firewall platform here. Now, this is not a policy or anything like that. It's early under configuration. So you're going to go into configuration here. Whenever this decides it wants to go to configuration, and you have your two here. Now, you can do audit logs as well. That's another feature I did not say. So you can do audit logs, and audit logs will obviously give you the audit logs. You will, every time somebody makes a change, you can send it to syslog. If you're doing something like Splunk or whatever SIM you have, you can do audit logs and send it to the syslog, right? But what we really want to talk about here is the two things that I talked about, which is change management. And just like I said before, change management will say, hey, if you enable this, number of approvals required, one, and then you need to put the list of approvers here, right? Now, if you do five, now you got to have five people approve a change, which is ridiculous, but depending on your change management process or your CAD process, you may need five people to approve it, right? So that's change management. Not a lot of people use that feature, but here's change reconciliation, like I was saying. So this, again, is going to roll up and make a report it'll you schedule it when to run, and it'll create a report and send it to whoever it needs to send to. So you hit enable. Obviously, you need to put your email relay and all that good stuff. I didn't set this up yet, so that's why it says you must set up the mail relay host, which should be in the SMTP settings. So you got to set that up before you even go through all this, which should be right here in the email notifications, but you need to set all that up. And then you click these two boxes here that says include policy configuration and show full change history. If you do that, you're going to get at the end of the day when this report, not well, let me not say end of the day because it depends on when you run the report. But once you change and save this, at the after it runs, whoever's in that email it's going to get a report that says, hey, here's the changes that were made that day. And then you can look and say, okay, John made this change, Sue made this change, you know, whoever made this change, and you can see, okay, here's all the changes that were made. So if anything goes out of whack, it's really easy to go back and say, well, it happened at this time. And according to this report, this person made the change exactly when this issue happened, right? And it was firewall related, right? That's the key here. This has to be firewall related. Then you can say, okay, you made this change that caused this outage at this time. Why did you make that change, right? And now you have quantifiable evidence to say, hey, here is the change you made that caused the problem based on a report that you got. So this was a quick little tip on how to, see how all the policies are changes. If you're making a lot of changes in your environment, this is really for IT directors, IT managers that's using the Cisco Secure Platform. It's a way for you to validate and get just a tracking mechanism of what changes were made to the platform. I mean, it could be for an event that happened, or it's just so you are aware of what changes are being made during the day. This is Don from Padlock Technologies. I hope this video was informative. Don't forget to share, comment, like, and subscribe. I really like the comment section. You guys are keeping my brain, active, like I said. Hope this video was informative again. Thank you and have a nice day.